What's going on, guys? Today I am here at the Smart Scout offices and I am with Josh, who is going to be giving me a walkthrough of their new AI visibility feature and the AI scorecard. So these are some features that are fairly new and very important as agentic shopping and the agentic shelf is becoming more and more relevant in e-commerce. And these are some tools that I've played around with a little bit, but don't really fully understand yet. So I'm excited to dive into these with Josh.
Awesome. So with AI Visibility Monitor, the problem we're trying to solve for people is, oh my gosh, people are searching in ChatGPT now and saying, what's the best energy drink that does XYZ? And ChatGPT is going to spit out something. But we don't know what that is. We don't know what products it's recommending. The only way to solve that is a tool like AI Visibility Monitor that runs these prompts, these searches over and over and over again, aggregates that data over time, and can give you something called a visibility rate, which helps us understand how often your product is being mentioned in relevant searches. So we're going to hop into AI Visibility Monitor here.
Yep.
We have a dashboard already set up. The setup for one of these is really easy, and we might cover in this video, maybe later, but the setup is really easy. You'll basically say, here's the kind of prompts I expect my customer to be searching for, and then we do the rest. And so what's happened in this view here is we've created some prompts. Let's click on that prompt menu first here. And we've said that what are the best zero sugar sparkling energy drinks is a prompt that we care about, right? And so we've logged 166 responses, and we have this bar chart to kind of show the stratification of products. This one's very stratified. There's a lot of different products. This is kind of a crazy looking chart. But if we scroll down, which energy drink is recommended that uses natural caffeine and also includes not sure what that might say. Can you expand
on which one?
So the column header for prompt right here,
Yep.
If you hover over the right edge, just a little bit further right, you can drag the edge right there.
Yeah.
Okay, right on, prebiotics. So
Prebiotics.
okay, that makes sense. Prebiotics are popping off right now. I don't know
Yep.
if you've tried those like prebiotic sodas or whatever.
Yep.
Also, I don't know the difference between prebiotic and probiotic, but
Nope, I don't think anybody does.
no. So they're caring about that. Natural caffeine, prebiotic, and you can see that there is a little bit less stratification on this one. There's a product here in this bar chart on the far left, and it's this Bloom Nutrition product that seems to be gathering a lot of traffic from AI.
Right.
For this prompt.
And
prompt.
for reference,
Yeah, go ahead.
this is a Bloom product. I don't think we
You just jumped right into it, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the product that we entered into the AI Visibility Monitor as the example. So even though it's not that specific ASIN, it is one of the brand's products that is getting recommended.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
And so we've decided in this dashboard that these three prompts matter. And yeah, this Bloom energy drink is the one that we're focusing on. This dark purple in the bars, in the bar chart, that's the target product. That's the one we started with. And so This is a great starting point.
So then to clarify, so this 29% dark purple, this is going to be our ASIN.
That's our target
And
ASIN.
then same thing up here as well.
Yep. So you can see on this top one, what are the best zero sugar sparkling energy drinks? This Bloom Nutrition focused product isn't really up there yet. We shouldn't expect it to be up there with that certain prompt, but we can see this from an 80,000 foot view by going to the dashboard view now.
Okay.
But for reference, these are the prompts that we're using.
And then with these prompts, so like someone coming from an Amazon perspective, right? You got an exact match, a phrase match, a broad match. For this to index and show up here, does someone have to type in this exact prompt for it to show up? Or if the prompt is like kind of close to this, is it also going to kind of catch that search?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The undeterministic nature of LLMs is where all of that uncertainty kind of is put. In this case, what's going on is we're actually running this exact prompt many times, and it's just this prompt. And so that gives us some consistency on our end, but then the inconsistency, the non-determinate nature happens on the LLM side, and that's why we run it often. So it's like multiple times a day. And so that's why when you're setting up these dashboards, choosing the prompts that matter most to you is really, really critical. So yeah, you're gonna wanna involve certain keywords that matter to you if certain ones do.
Okay.
Great call out.
Yeah, so back to the dashboard.
Yeah, let's go to the dashboard.
Okay.
So keep in mind that we are running these specific three prompts multiple times a day, and we are aggregating this data. So our key data point is visibility rate. That's what this chart on the top left is trying to say, is trying to describe. Visibility rate is the percent of the time your product is showing up in these searches. And so every time we run any of these prompts, we track if you show up or not. And so right now, let's hover over this chart here.
Yep.
It looks like we're hitting probably mid 40s.
Yep, pretty
in visibility pretty consistently. We have a 7-day period set. I'm not sure how long we have. Let's see how long we have in terms of history here.
And this dashboard will just be, so this is, I'm assuming, when you set up the dashboard for this
That's
product.
correct. So we don't go back more than probably about a month.
Got it.
Or it looks like, no, that's about half a month, so 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it looks like it's fluctuated a little bit, but pretty stable line. We've started in the mid 50s and we've dipped and we've gone back, but that's visibility rate historical. We have a visibility rate chip right here on the right just for a quick acquisition. So in this case, 42.9%. Visibility rank. This is basically, we're going to look at this in a more explicit chart, but this tells you what your ranking is like in terms of visibility relative to all the competitors.
Right.
And so
so it's almost like the organic rank. You could say.
Yeah. So this you're like the third most visible product within the premise of this, dashboard. We have some pie charts here that kind of give you an idea of like what kind of visibility rate the top products are getting.
Right.
And then same thing at the brand level, which is an interesting data point. Smart Scout, we're really good at doing like the roll-ups at the brand level. And so you can see here that
we got
Bloom Nutrition on like the brand level is actually doing pretty well.
Very well, yeah.
So scrolling down a little bit, the product visibility rankings is a really fun chart. So we're here on the left. The bold guy is us. That's us. We are number 1 in terms of, and if you could scroll to the right a little bit.
Sure.
So we show average position and visibility rate. So we are number 1 in terms of those criteria. And I believe this is, they should be ranked by visibility rate. Yeah, it is. Okay,
yes.
So you're number 1 in terms of visibility
42,
rate.
And then the next, which is also Bloom, is going to be 33. And then Celsius is kind of tied for second there. And then it goes down from there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then I misspoke. The dashboard I'm referencing is actually a different dashboard. So I said visibility rank was 3 earlier. That was probably confusing. It's 1. So
yes.
Sorry about that. But yeah, this ranking is awesome. So this Bloom Nutrition seems to be killing it again with the prompts that we've selected. Ranking in this way is really interesting because if you're talking to a brand, you can quickly now answer the question of like, well, how are you doing in AI searching? And you can quickly see that Bloom Nutrition is competing directly with Celsius.
Yep.
This specific Celsius, this Guru Sugar, Monster Energy Zero Ultra is in there, of course. You can see really detailed idea of what the AI shelf might look like. So really, really cool. This average position column is exactly what it sounds like. When ChatGPT lists off its recommendations, we just track what position you're in those recommendations, and we average that out. So on average, we are 1.6. So we're almost always in that first position. Yep. So really, really cool.
And then question that you may or may not want to answer, but like, what are the top LLMs that you're using to pull this data from? Obviously, we've mentioned ChatGPT. Is it also pulling from like a Gemini? Because I know Google Shopping can be a thing for people. I don't know if there are other LLMs that people are really using in shopping. Would you say those are the main 2, or are there other ones as well?
Yeah, ChatGPT has an amazing market dominance with like shoppers in general, but right now this is a V1 and we are just doing ChatGPT.
Okay,
that's really important to call out. We only do ChatGPT right now, but there are plans slated to add the rest of other LLMs here.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, it's actually a pretty resource intensive tool, and so adding these other LLMs is going to increase the difficulty of doing this, and so. Basically, all I'm saying is get in while the getting is good. Because this is only going to get more and more valuable over time. So,
and it makes sense too, because I mean, from a consumer perspective, ChatGPT is going to be the most used one. I obviously a lot of people like to use Claude as well, but I feel like the people using Claude are not using it to go shopping. They're using it to like build stuff.
Totally different personas, right? So we did decide for that reason that ChatGPT was a great starting point. We'd probably go Gemini next after that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, great question.
And then, so maybe a follow-up question while we're still on this page, or actually, let's get into the citation sources next, and then I'll ask that question because I just to that.
If we could just scroll up for me a little bit.
Sure.
Let's take a small detour at this brand visibility ranking just real quick, just so we can knock it out. It's basically the chart on the left, but just at the brand level. And so you'll see that Bloom Nutrition tops this brand visibility ranking chart. It's just a brand view of what's on the left. So we can check that off.
Okay, perfect.
Covered. But yeah, citation sources. So this one's awesome. So when I'm talking to someone and we're using AI Visibility Monitor, the first question is like, how am I doing?
Yep.
Right? And we're able to tell them right now, if we were talking to Bloom, we could be like, yeah, mid 40s. That's how often you're being mentioned.
Right.
About 40% of the time, right?
Yeah.
The next question after that is, how do I fix it?
And that's exactly what I was going to ask. Yeah.
How do I fix it? So when we do searches in LLMs, especially ChatGPT, it cites sources for why it recommends certain products. And so as you can imagine, those sources, because they are the source of truth in this context, it's really interesting if we could aggregate that information and help you understand what sources are actually having the most influence on the LLM responses with shopping. And so that's what this citation sources table is. Why does that matter? It matters because you can talk to these sources and say, hey, can we do a blog swap? Can we collab? Can we pay to have some kind of like extra information in your site? And you can influence how this site or this domain talks about your product. So let's look at one of these. So Amazon.com, we're not gonna be able to call up Amazon and be like, hey, tell me, let me influence you a little bit. So let's look at a different domain.
Okay.
Let's look at something that looks a little bit more private.
Before we get to another one, because obviously we're coming at this from the perspective of spending most of our time on Amazon. I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is why you need a really well optimized listing now for like how an AI is going to read versus just keyword stuffing, because your listing on Amazon can apparently influence how your product is getting recommended by LLMs to potential customers.
That's a fantastic call out. And I was just about to gloss over it. So thanks for saying it.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazon's at the top of this list. Yeah, absolutely. It has massive pull. So yeah, you've got to be making sure your Amazon listing is top notch and optimized for these, LLMs. We could go down the list though, and you can see that there's quite a stratification of different, domains here. And for these smaller ones, reaching out to them and saying, hey, I'd love to have presence on your domain. What does that look like? That's going to be super, super helpful. So that's the gist of the citation sources. For someone who's wanting to optimize their LLM presence, they're going to have to diversify their efforts a little bit. Where obviously Amazon is pulling really big here, but you're going to have to get more diverse in terms of like what domains are citing you and what domains are talking about your product.
And so does that mean that the more sites that an LLM can find your product reference on, the more likely it will be to pull it up for one of these kind of prompts?
I'd say roughly speaking, LLMs are a bit of a mystery, and they are trying to be good at one fundamental thing, which is how do I tell the truth in a lot of ways, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be indexing naturally on websites that are not only your product should be on a lot of websites, but how trustworthy are the websites? How good is the content in the website? Does the content align with everything else I'm seeing? So LLMs are really good at that sort of thing. So it's never been more important for you to get out, information about your product that's high quality and on the most trustworthy sites possible. And these citation sources are great because we know that by virtue of them being in this list, they are websites that the LLM trusts as a citation. And obviously there are some big hitters here. So that makes sense. But there's some smaller guys that you could definitely have some opportunity with.
Right. And so essentially this is really giving, for a brand that's looking to become more optimized for LLM searches, this is really giving you a list of websites that that brand can then reach out to, or the agency or the brand partner can reach out to on the brand's behalf to get mentions of their product on that website.
100%.
Okay.
And that's just what the beast looks like these days when it comes to AI, right? But talking about Amazon too real quick, on the far right, you'll see an ASINs column.
Yes.
And these are which ASINs are being cited by this respective domain. If your ASIN doesn't show up in the Amazon column, you're in trouble.
So now, I just clicked on one. Is it only these three, or are there more if I expand?
So if you expand the Amazon.com row,
then it's going to
it'll break it down by specific ASIN, and you can filter and see if your ASIN is being searched.
Okay.
Right now, this view admittedly doesn't really make it easy to find your target ASIN, so we'll improve that.
Okay.
But you could get really into that data and figure out if Amazon is actually being a citation that helps you or not. And if it's not, we've got some work to do on that 100%. Front. So
And so total responses, this is the amount of time the LLM is recommending the ASIN? Or
Yeah, let me break that down. So
Okay.
total responses, total prompts.
Yep. So total
So
prompts, I'm
total-
imagining, is the prompts that we put into the dashboard or
Mm-hmm.
into the tracker, because the max here is 3.
Yeah, so max is 3. So that means that Amazon is being cited by all the prompts.
Okay.
Within all the prompts. And then Amazon has come up in 217 of the responses that we have run. We also don't do a good job at surfacing in this view what the ultimate total is. This is just a subtotal, right? Where it's like Amazon has been mentioned in 217 of responses, but that actual total might be 300 total responses. I think we'll be able to see a little bit more about that in the prompts view, but that's
Okay.
another improvement we can make,
Sure.
honestly. So yeah, total responses, Amazon has been mentioned.
Okay.
So
Got it.
yeah.
And then as this is broken down per ASIN, these total responses, and would be the amount of times that ASIN has been recommended or mentioned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. So citation sources is the actionability for this tool.
Right.
Really critical. So just kind of a high level summary, because that's basically it for AI Visibility Monitor.
Okay.
Is we're able to quickly see what's most important, which is visibility rate. We can see if it's going up or down, and we can see what the competitive landscape looks like at the product and brand level, and then we can ultimately see what we need to do about it.
Right.
We do have an export feature, which is kind of a side important thing to note.
Yep.
There's also a prompts filter next to it. This is fun if you care about looking at this
okay.
data just from a specific
For a
prompt
specific
perspective.
prompt. Yeah.
So we only have 3 here. I would expect people to have many prompts in normal usage. So like maybe you have 20 different prompts. You can select like 3 or 4.
Right.
You know, maybe they only have a certain keyword that you care about.
Right,
so
right.
that's a small comment to make there. So
Could we run through quickly maybe just how to set up the prompt features? Because I did it once, and it is pretty intuitive, but
Let's
I
do
believe
it.
that Smart Scout kind of also walks you through suggesting prompts, right?
yeah, let's do it.
So if I hit create a new dashboard, I'm just going to go on.
Oh, let's go back real quick because so right here we say select an ASIN to begin. You
Okay.
should technically be able to also try a keyword and select an ASIN from that search. So create new dashboard. Let's
Yep.
go to create new dashboard on the right, and then here you can actually do a keyword or an ASIN.
Okay.
And so if you're like, I don't know an ASIN.
Okay.
Let's try
Yeah,
something.
Let's go. We're going to go best creatine because creatine is popping off right now.
Sure. So we're gonna suggest some stuff.
Okay.
If you don't have anything specific, obviously this list will probably be all right. So
Sure. Okay, so we'll just pick the top one right here.
yeah. But yeah, you could pick a specific creatine ASIN if
Sure.
you cared about one.
Okay.
So topics. Let's talk about a topic. A topic is kind of like a way of categorizing prompts. And so think of these prompts as like questions that shoppers are asking.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that there's like maybe a certain persona of shoppers that care more about, in respect to creatine, maybe they care about it being micronized. Or they're like athletes.
Yeah.
But then there's a different persona that's maybe like, no,
Right.
I'm actually kind of older
Right.
and I want to maintain muscle mass. And so that's what topics are for, is they're
Okay.
just a way of like categorizing, different prompts.
Right.
So,
And so these are some suggested topics that already came up. So we got unflavored, we got vegan, clean, natural pre-workout.
when I say topic, you could also swap that word with category
Category, yeah.
or a
Okay.
niche.
Okay.
So,
All right, so we'll just go with these 3.
and you could add one.
Right.
There's a little magic wand. We can suggest stuff for you too.
Right.
Based on what we know about this ASIN, which is helpful. But
Okay.
cool.
All right, so we'll move forward with that.
So under clean, natural, pre-workout powders, we've suggested a prompt here to get you started.
Right.
You can also use AI to help you create a prompt, or you can make your own.
Yeah, let's hit
So-
generate prompt and see what it says.
I actually don't have any idea how long this is going to take, so we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't take too much longer. But if you were to type your own prompt, I love the idea that you proposed of like saying you should be incorporating keywords that you know matter to you.
Right.
So
And do you find like that there should be a mixture of the length of prompts? Because like this is a great prompt, but
it's pretty specific.
it's extremely specific, right?
It's pretty specific. What's
So,
nice
like-
about LLMs is
Yeah.
when it comes to visibility, there's actually a lot of like wiggle room.
Okay.
And so even if it's like a longer prompt and it is very niche, at the end of the day, it still will recommend a bunch of things. So you can be a little bit more scientific about it. You could have
Yeah.
a prompt that only has one of your target keywords, have a series that has one of each.
Yeah.
You could do a version that crams everything. You could be pretty You can be as strategic as you want, basically. I love this.
I just came up with this one.
I love it.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go next.
And we had three topics.
Oh, so these are prompts per topic.
Exactly. So each of these niches, topics, categories, we're going to give some prompts for.
Got it. Okay, so for the sake of the example, I'll just keep moving forward there. So each one of those will have...
We're going to set up our dashboard, name it, and then if you want, you can track it. It's funny, we say if you want. Some people just want to see like point level data. They're just like, just show me what visibility looks like today.
Got it.
And they might click it.
And then you can just generate that report and kind of have it.
Yeah. So I would recommend tracking things by default if that's possible. I think at the basic level at Smart Scout, I'm not sure if tracking is an option. So that's a small caveat.
All right, so we'll save the dashboard.
Cool. And then this does take some time. Like we say here, feel free to check back later, but we already covered the actual dashboard.
Yeah, so that's the process of setting it up.
Basically,
it's just going through the topics or the niche and then entering in some prompts, which Smart Scouts can suggest, or you can, if you have specific ones you're looking for, you can write those in yourself, and then it'll pull up the dashboard, and then we'll be back to where we were before.
In the tabs, we can even navigate to the other existing dashboard, and now the prompt filter on the right is actually going to make a lot more sense.
Yep.
Sorry, go back to the dashboard view. This is actually another thing we need to fix. So prompts on the right.
This prompts.
There you go. Yeah. So now this makes a little bit more sense. So like you can imagine zero sugar energy drinks might have like 10 prompts beneath it.
Yes.
You can select at the topic level how you care to see the data.
Got it.
And so like most companies, if you're serving like many different personas or many different niches within your product, you can be really specific about what you want to see.
Right.
So
got it. Makes sense.
Yeah. But as far as AI Visibility Monitor, this is how we've chosen to help people understand how LLMs are recommending their product, what their ranking is, and how to do something about it.
Okay, awesome.